Friday afternoon in September 2016, the Royal Thai police, on a routine immigration check, were searching a house. In their search, they found garbage bags full of frozen body parts. They contacted the FBI for assistance. I was the agent they contacted. My name is John Sheknovsky. I'm a retired FBI agent and author of the upcoming book, Beyond the Badge.
It just seems like from like James Bond and all of these.
Let me clarify.
Like tapping their phones and all these stuff.
25-year law enforcement career, I never did anything illegal. We have to do things. So when you say tap a phone and you use that word as illegal, it is very legal. Mozambique officials, you need to explain to the Thai police officers what you have, who the person is, and what you want to be done. You have law enforcement officers who are wasting their time investigating a crime that nobody cares about.
Ooh, this is giving me chills. I heard you did a background check on me.
I just verified and wanted to see your background for multiple reasons.
That's background check, right? What do you know about me?
I know where you get educated. I know what your business is. I know some of the students you've had now.
What? Coming into this podcast, I heard you did a background check on me.
I don't want to call it a background check. That's a little bit of a misnomer. I just verified and wanted to see your background for multiple reasons.
That's background check, right?
Well, it depends. An FBI background check, I'm going to do a lot more. I'm going to call your friends and neighbors. I'm going to do records checks on you, see everything about you. A true background check is checking your entire history. For me, it was just seeing your open source. So looking at your bio on your internet page and checking out your Instagram and, doing open source checks are really easy to do. And if you don't do them before you meet somebody in any walk of life, it's kind of weird. You should do it. It's not that hard. In this day and age, in 5 minutes, I can learn a lot about you. In a basic check to see who is interviewing me, who you are. We know that we got together through a mutual friend, but even that being said, it's almost criminal not to check on somebody before you meet them for the first time nowadays, in my opinion.
What do you know about me?
I know where you get educated. I know what your business is. I know some of the students you've had now.
What?
Well, it's on your page. You make it public.
All right. Okay.
You have a list of students you've had. Some of your SAT students, your debate students, who they are, their names, where you went to college, where you went to grad school. All those things. But it's easy. It took me I think I did it downstairs before I walk upstairs to this studio. It's pretty easy.
Would you know if I had any like criminal records?
No, that's why I need to do a larger background check. I could if I wanted to. That didn't concern me as much. I'm not going into business with you and that kind of stuff. But if I was, then yes, I would try and do some kind of check to verify. I mean, really, if you did anything really bad and your arrest was open source, that would have popped up when I Googled you or I did my background check or checked your page. So it wouldn't be difficult. But any lower level, this is so weird, but any lower level criminal activity, yes, I'd have to do an actual police check. And you're from Taiwan, so I would do Thailand, I would do America just because I'm American, and maybe try and do Taiwan too if I could. I have to figure that out. I'm just saying that's what you do if you want to do a check.
Okay. I'm going to tread very lightly right now from here on.
No, you're good. You passed the check.
Have you ever watched the movie Meet the Parents?
Of course.
So the dad was an ex-FBI agent, was checking on the...
Ex-CIA.
Oh, it's ex-CIA.
Yeah,
okay, see,
big difference.
I can't. What's the difference? Are you the ones tapping the phone? Do you check our phone?
Let me clarify.
Are you bugging my phone?
Let me clarify that both tap phones. We both CIA and FBI.
That does not make it better.
The big difference between FBI and CIA that people don't know is that, and there's lots of differences, but the basic dumbed down version is that the FBI is a law enforcement agency where police powers arrest powers. The CIA is an intelligence gathering agency. Their job is to gather intelligence for use by other agencies, by themselves, to do intelligence investigations. But the military might use their information to do certain things. We work with the FBI. FBI uses the CIA. We work together a lot as well. But the major difference is CIA does intelligence gathering. They do intelligence. They're an intelligence agency. The FBI is a law enforcement agency. Now, we do intelligence gathering as well on a smaller scale than CIA. And they work with police, but on a smaller scale. That's the big difference is law enforcement versus intelligence agency.
Do both of them do like illegal stuff? As in, I get the question, but... It just seems like from like James Bond and all of these.
Let me clarify.
Like tapping their phones and all these stuff.
25-year law enforcement career, I never did anything illegal. We have to do things. So when you say tap a phone and you use that word as illegal, it is very legal. For me to tap your phone, by definition, to do a wiretap on your phone, we call it a Title III in America. But to do a Title III or tap your phone, I have to go to a judge in the U.S. I need to show that judge lots and lots of proof that I believe you are a criminal, that you're committing crimes. And tapping someone's phone is the U.S. has decided it's one of the most intrusive things you can do. It's very, very difficult to get a Title III affidavit signed to go up on someone's phone. You really need to show the judge this person's a criminal. Not, I think they are really, really, you're involved in criminal activity. And I believe listening to your conversations will further my investigation. And this is why. And it's you have to have, the burden of proof for a wiretap is very, very high.
What kind of info are you able to get if a judge approves?
I mean, for a wiretap?
For wiretap or, yeah.
Like for a wiretap, for a wiretap, what we'll do is, now also, some wiretaps are not 24 hours a day. Some are, some aren't. If you're up on a business, it'll be for business hours only. But for the most part, the ones I've been on, it's just listen to the phone 24 hours. But you set up a wire room, you have people, it's a big endeavor to wiretap someone's phone. You have to have people we call it the wire room. It's a room where you have, the computer set up where you're in the monitoring devices and the headphones and listening to calls. And when the call comes in, you're having somebody there taking notes on the phone call. There's a very important part of a wiretap, which is your job is to listen. And if the phone conversation doesn't go to what you're investigating, you're required to hang up the phone. So if I'm listening to you and I think you're a drug dealer, and you call your wife or she calls you or your mom and you're talking about a birthday party happening and we know this isn't drug related, you have to hang up. It's required. I can't listen. I can't listen to your entire phone call. We are required to turn the phone to stop listening really to the phone call. If we do not believe, so the wiretap isn't just for all phone calls. It's for phone calls, and if that phone call veers away from criminal activity, we have no right to listen to it.
You're in Thailand right now.
I'm retired now. I was in Thailand for the last 10 years of my career. I was in Thailand.
Right.
So my first part of my career was in San Francisco. So I worked drug cases, little terrorism, white collar crime, which over here they call economic crime. And then I kind of got into Thailand. I came on vacation here and liked it with my wife, and we loved it, and decided we wanted to. We knew there was FBI overseas. And we thought, okay, let's make it our goal to go to work in Thailand. So I met the person who was the head of the office here, and he gave me kind of a step-by-step plan how to do it. He started taking Thai classes, which I did in the Bay Area. I went to a Thai temple in San Francisco and began taking Thai classes. And then he said, take over an Asian organized crime squad, which we had a big one in San Francisco. So I transferred from I was working economic crime, and I moved over and became the supervisor of the Asian organized crime squad. I tell people Thailand, the FBI investigates about 300 violations of U.S. law. We saw about 280 of them here. This is kind of the Wild West. Everything happens in Thailand.
But how are you supposed to differentiate what's into like the criminal activity and what's not? Like, I could just be using code words.
Right. So what they give you is they give you a wide berth at the beginning. So you usually get 30 days of a wiretap, and in 30 days you got to re-up the wiretap. So after 30 days, you go to the judge and say, "This is the information we've gathered. We want 30 more days." If the judge says, "You haven't gotten anything from this. This isn't working, so don't know it." No. So you have to prove to the judge after 30 days that you want more time. So in the first few days, they'll give you wide leeway. So for example, I had a case in San Francisco where they were using, instead of drugs, they used the term, they were talking about burritos and tacos. So burritos and tacos. So we didn't know that. So we heard that and we waited, and we realized that was the drug talk. So then we're allowed to. So you're given a little bit of leeway. But by the first couple of weeks or first week, you should be able to differentiate the vernacular they're using if they're using code words. But you are allowed a little bit more leeway to confirm what they're talking about. But, if it's a phone call about a birthday party and it's the wife's phone, by the time you go up, the family members, you figured out the whole chart on who's in the family. If you know it's the wife or the girlfriend or the mom and it's not a drug discussion, then you're required to minimize that discussion.
Can you tell me some interesting case that you worked on?
Sure. So somewhere in the book. Preview the book, yeah. So I'll give you two. So my two ones I talk about the most, just because, and they're two very different cases. I love the job of being liaison. The part of the job that I think I was very good at was working with the Thai police and becoming friendly with them and being able to kind of bridge gaps and borders. So I had a case where the Mozambique government was looking for a fugitive. They had a guy from Mozambique who was living in Thailand, like had a house here, his kids go to international school, but while he's living here, he was committing kidnap for ransom in Mozambique. If people didn't pay the ransom, he'd kill them. He had killed multiple people because they didn't pay a ransom. The Mozambique officials knew he was in Thailand. They have no relationship with the Thai police. I believe there might be a consulate here, but there's no extradition treaty. There's no law enforcement working together. There's no cops from Mozambique here. So the Mozambique cops called the FBI agent they work with in Mozambique and said, can you connect us with the guy in Thailand? It was me. So they said, we're going to have a couple of Mozambique officials fly out to Thailand. Can you somehow, some way get them with the Thai police and help us arrest this guy and bring him back to Mozambique? Now, this is a huge undertaking. There's no extradition treaty. There's no relationship. So my job now is to get the Thai police on board to meeting with the Mozambique officials, have a discussion, have the Mozambique officials explain to the Thais who this person is, why he's wanted, show them the law they're enforcing, all these things. It's not as easy as it sounds. Not just, hey, we'll give you a call. And so I go in, we have a big conference room at a police office. I got the Mozambique officials on one side. I got the Thai cops on one side. I'm like, okay, here's the deal. Mozambique officials, you need to explain to the Thai police officers what you have, who the person is, and what you want to be done. And they finish speaking, and the Thai cops look at me like they want me to translate. And then they responded in English to the Mozambique officials. And the Mozambique official looked over at me and I'm like, okay, everyone, you guys are speaking English. I am now doing English to English translation, thinking they would say, oh, okay, John, your work is, this isn't like, your work is done here. And they both looked at me like, yep. And they expected me now to stay for the next 7 hours. And I did for the next 7 hours, English to English translation, because the accents were so difficult to understand. I understood both accents, so I sat there and did that. So then I realized this is my case now. So I was able to get the point across, what they needed and they were able, the Thai cops said, yes, we'll do this. Within a few days, they had the guy under arrest, brought him to police headquarters. They were there waiting. It had to be like quiet, because the Mozambique officials said this guy was very powerful. And if anyone in the government heard this was happening in high levels, there was some corruption there, they would probably call the guy and he would escape. So we had to do this very quietly. We got him there. And remember, I won't go in depth, but an extradition treaty allows you to send someone back to another country. They didn't have that. So we needed the approvals from the highest levels of the Thai government. So we're at police headquarters. We're waiting. At the time, the deputy prime minister was Prawit. And I remember somebody in the police was calling Prawit to get his permission to go wheels up and bring this guy back to Mozambique. So I'm very proud of that case, because literally went from 2 separate countries, and I was in charge of bringing together, it was like the UN, I'm bringing together 2 countries, explaining everything, getting the guy arrested. And the whole time, the Thai police were looking at me, John, do you trust these guys? This is a big deal. They didn't know anything. I'm reading the report on the murders the guy did and saying, yes, I believe this is the case. And the Mozambique officials have no trust for the Thais. Are they really going to do this? Are they going to send them back for us? What if the bad guy offers the cops money? Will they take the money? I am going through this entire case. End of the day, we got it approved, wheels up, got him back to Mozambique. So I'm very proud of that case. The other case is the one that's probably my, I hate the word I say, favorite case, because someone died. But so another case is kind of the case of my career in Thailand was the Thai tourist police were down in the Silom area, and they stopped Farang they thought he was illegal. He had a fake passport. They thought he was here illegally. They took his passport, total fake passport, and they said, where'd you buy this passport? He told them where. They then build up some evidence, get a search warrant, go out to a house kind of near Prakanong on that area, and they go and they knock on the guy's door, and white guy opens the door, and he says, okay, we want to see your passport. They said, okay, follow me. They go up the stairs. He opens up his safe. Instead of pulling out his passport, pulls out a gun, turns, shoots, hits a Thai cop in the stomach. He survives, but hits in the stomach. They put the guy under arrest. Me, I'm not part of this right now. I remember this vividly. It's a Friday afternoon, and Friday evening, I'm picking up my son from a play date with some friends. I think I'm literally about to open up a beer, I think, at the time, with some other parents. And my line goes off, and line says, hey, John, we just did this arrest of a guy. He shot a cop, and the bad guy has a bunch of passports from all different countries. Can we send you the American ones, and can you go to the embassy and just verify if these are fake or real? Most are going to be fake, but can you check? I said, sure, let me call the RSO, the regional security officer at the embassy, send them to me online, send me the photos, and I'll be able to check. I wait, no message comes in, no photos come in. I'm waiting 5, 10, 15 minutes, and the phone rings. My colleague from the Royal Thai Police calls and says, okay, a whole different problem. They were searching the house. They opened up the freezer. In the freezer, they saw 2 black plastic bags, opened the bags, and found a bunch of body parts, frozen body parts. So now they said, John, let me call you back. And I said, sure. Waited. Next morning, early morning, they met me and said, John, we need your help. We have no idea who the bad guy is who shot our cop, and we have no idea who the guy and the person in the freezer is. Can you help us? And once again, the question is why they asked the FBI. At this point, there's no FBI connection, but there are certain cases where the FBI has expertise. The Thais are phenomenal cops. The Thais are very good at their job, but sometimes we have the FBI lab. And he was both the person in the freezer and the bad guy were not Thai. So we have a large database. We can probably access our database, and we have good forensics. And at this point, I am so close to the Thai cops. They wanted my assistance. They want me to work with them. So over the course of the next 72 hours, myself, one of my embassy colleagues, this is our case. And within 72 hours, we are able to figure out who the guy in the freezer was and who the bad guy was. Guy's arrested, in jail to this day, and we're able to get closure. Now, spoiler alert, I don't want to give you more. People got to read the book, but the guy was in the freezer for 8 years, and we were able to identify he was missing, identify where he's from. I mean, his sister, we found his sister, got a DNA from her, verified who he was. So, in a pretty quick, pretty proud of, that's one of those, if you watch TVs and movies where a body, a bad guy, no identification, how are you going to solve this? And really proud of that case. And that was in Thailand as well.
Is there a reason why he was in a freezer and not dumped in the river or something?
So the bad guy, never really spoke. He's still in jail. He's not talking. He wouldn't want to talk to the FBI. What we believe is we did some interviews with people around Bangkok who've been in his circles. And we believe that he had told people. He was not a gangster. He was kind of he wanted to be a passport forger, and this guy, whatever, he told people, if you don't do what I say, I got a body in the freezer. I think he used it as a trophy and as a scare technique for other people.
Oh.
That's the belief that we have, is that because yes, why not just toss in the Chao Phraya River and sink to the bottom and then no one will ever see it? That's, from what we understand, is that from interviews that we did after all this was over, we believe that he had told enough people that he had this threat that he wanted to keep it there kind of as a trophy and as a threat.
Whoa. Oh, these are some real stuff.
Yeah.
This is very different from what I see in Hollywood.
I think.
Very, very different, actually. How accurate is the portrayal of these movies or shows when it comes to so we often see drug junkies, they're around, they're distributing, they're selling, a lot of violence is going around. How accurate do you think are the movies portraying it?
I think it depends. I think if you're there, you go to Skid Row in LA, which the part of LA is just homeless and drugs, it's open air drug market. So yeah, that exists. I'm not going to be, it's naive to think that so it depends where you are. Some places, some inner cities where it's just terrible drug areas, terrible areas. Yeah, you could probably walk in and see people easily, nonstop, just selling drugs, passing it hand to hand. Yes, that happens all the time. Once again, that's not what we did a lot in the FBI. We did the larger investigations, the big shipments, but to get into those groups, to get into the large groups, you usually start at the bottom. So we got involved in some low level sales and we work our way up. But yeah, the movies are it's obviously going to be Hollywood taking license and making it look sometimes worse than it is. But no, the drug problem in America is terrible. You've seen videos. If you haven't, there's videos. You can just Google this or go onto YouTube. People, fentanyl is the biggest problem in America now, and people on fentanyl walk around like zombies. And there's videos, many videos of somebody in a Walmart or a shopping center, sitting there dead to the world because they're on fentanyl. It's very, very. It's a terrible problem, and there's no glossing over it. So, I'm sure some Hollywood movies make it look a certain way, but the reality is it's terrible. There's no glossing over it. It's terrible. The drug sales, open drug markets everywhere. It's part of any major city. Someone says, where do you go buy it? Here, and it's tough. It's tough to enforce it, tough to investigate it. But yeah, it's a problem.
Do you think there's a line that you can draw? I'll give an example. Yeah. Coffee is drug. Alcohol is drug. Smoking is drug. Vaping is drug. Marijuana is drug. Mm-hmm. And so where do you draw that line of what's okay and what's not?
Why is heroin illegal and everything else? Why isn't everything legal, you mean? Or is that?
Yeah, why isn't alcohol illegal? And whereas, how about this one? Why isn't smoking illegal and vaping is illegal? Like, what's the difference there? And so on and so forth. Like, where would you draw the line?
So it's a loaded question for an FBI agent who, like, I'm not the lawmaker. I enforce the laws. So this is pure opinion.
Yeah.
It's all pure opinion, but this one is, I mean, it really comes down to what our society has decided. So most countries, I mean, there are countries in the world where it's all illegal. You could, I'm going to pick a country, but there's death penalty in many countries for any kind of drugs. But so it depends what society you're in. So you said who decides? So it's look country to country. Some country decided that marijuana should be death penalty. Some country decided that you should be able to smoke marijuana whenever you want, wherever you want, totally legal. So first of all, societies, I think looking at different societies is a good way to answer that question. So who decides? Governments decide. Now, how do governments decide? Well, your elected officials or people in charge have made decisions and said, either if you're an elected official, if you're in America and it's Congress people, it's, okay, my constituents, people who voted for me, they voted for me and put me in office because they want me to ban marijuana, make it legal. Pick your side. So that's how, is that politicians have decided, what do my people, what do my constituents, what do our citizens want? And we'll make that happen. Some countries don't have Congress or parliament and have a monarchy or have a dictator or one leader. That person probably decides on their own what they want to do. So personally, I believe that there are certain drugs that we have decided we're not going to. I'm looking at an enforcement side. So marijuana is a good example. Marijuana slowly became legalized in states in America, still illegal federally, but states have decided first, and it happened in Thailand too. First, they decided to make it for medicinal purposes, only for medicinal purposes. Thailand kind of went to the legalization. Now they're back to medicinal, but they kind of floated the water, see how it goes. My opinion is marijuana is pretty much legal anyway. The law says it isn't, but no one's enforcing it. So now you're wasting law enforcement's time. You have law enforcement officers who are wasting their time investigating a crime that nobody cares about. So you'll see in America, even though marijuana is illegal nationally, the DEA puts very few resources into it because it's just, and even local police don't, because even though it's illegal federally, no one's enforcing it. Everyone's smoking. So yes, is it illegal? Sure. But I believe as a law enforcement officer, my decision what's legal and illegal should go two ways. First of all, if the government is taking it seriously and you're allowing us by giving us the money and the resources to investigate it, great, keep it illegal. But if you're not, if you're just tossing words at it and you're not giving money, not caring, you're not giving prosecutions, if someone's arrested for marijuana, they get no time in jail, then you're wasting my time when I could work terrorism cases, I can work cybercrime, I can work these things. So that's number one for me. Number two is, as a human being, look, how alcohol affects you and how marijuana affects you is different than how heroin and cocaine affect you. So I think that we decided, you talk to scientists and you look at people and people you trust and say, look, they're all mind altering, from caffeine, as you said, to even nicotine, whatever. But we have to decide as a society, where is that line going to be? And I think that they've decided that, are there certain drugs where you can't function in a normal sense? If you can't, like, you can drink and you in 24 hours and you're hungover, whatever, but you're sober again, and the addiction level. I mean, it's hard to say because marijuana is a terrible addictive drug as well. Yeah. But I think our society has decided there are certain drugs that are too harmful to the citizenry, and we're going to say those are banned. And there are some that are harmful, but there's a level of how harmful they are. And we've decided that alcohol and nicotine and caffeine and marijuana in many places are just not going to be those things we're going to enforce. And we're going to allow people, where are we going to decide? It's an individual decision. It's your choice. We can't, there are dictatorships in the world that say no, nothing. And there's some countries where based on religion, and the religion says it, and the religion's kind of your defense. Well, you can't do it because you're this religion. Okay, fine. But if you look at a free society like America or other Thailand, free is in quotes, of course, but how do we decide? And I think we've decided that politicians consult doctors and physicians and decide what do we think is the right way to go, and they've made a decision. And it's always changing. Marijuana is the best example. Right. 50 years ago, 20 years ago, now we've slowly but surely decided, you know what? It's like alcohol, and we're going to allow it to be legal.
As a parent myself, right? Let's say if my child gets kidnapped, and the number one reason why I wouldn't want to call the police or the government agency is because of this fear that they are so concerned about catching the person more than saving my child. And so, when push comes to shove, it seems like they're going to choose the latter. And so that's why I'm like,
no, I think the one issue I take with that is that it's not catching. We want to get the kid back as well, but we believe the best way to get the kid back would be for us to do our job and find this person. So not the matter of getting the kid back is number one. No, number two is not even close. So it isn't to get the bad guy, which we'd want to do, of course, but to get the kid back. The reason we would hesitate on paying is we just don't trust that if you give the money, that the kid's given back. So which is why in the movies you see, and there's a reality, is before you have any discussion, we want to show us that you have the kid. Where is the kid? They use the term proof of life, but you want to see that this, first of all, am I negotiating with you to give you money? My kid's already dead? Like, what are we doing here? So you need to show, and if they truly are interested in negotiating, they'll do that. They will say, yes, we will, no, not. So, and they know that. I mean, even though they're the bad guy, they have the upper hand, they're going to know that even as a parent, even if you want your kid back immediately, and they say, I want $50,000, you're going to want to see your kid first. You're going to want to see a photo with, the timestamp, whatever, you want to know. Yeah. So, but I have not been part of a kidnapping case where it was a child and it was given, I've been to other kidnapping cases, but this is a situation where I would say if I was in charge, as soon as the parents want to pay, fine. We want to make it safety and secure, so they don't want to kidnap the parents now too. So we want to assist that way. This is a personal retired FBI agent comment. I have a child as well. If he was kidnapped, I'd be having three things happening at once. I'd be negotiating while I had my friend count the money to give to them. I would have the money ready to go as well. So that'd be on my list too. I might pay, depends. But I would also immediately have all the resources I can to find these people. I mean, remember, they're calling from somewhere, they're emailing. It's really difficult now in this day and age to do an anonymous, like if you're asking for money, how do you do that? Texting, calling, there's a way.
Yeah.
And nowadays with the FBI and the way we have phone triangulation and we can try, there's ways we can do stuff where I would say, give us a little bit of time. Give us a little bit of time, hours. And if you want to pay, fine, but just let us, there's things we can do. Oh. And it's not a matter of, I don't want you ever to pay, and if your kid dies, he or she dies. That's no way. We want to get that. Our job is to get that kid back 100%. But I would say that to have the fear the police don't care is not a good one. It's not a good argument. It's we care 100%, care so much, but we also worry on the other side that parents like me would get blinded by the fact that all I care about is my kid getting back and trusting if I pay this money, I'll get the kid back. And that's just not a guarantee. Mm-hmm. It's, pay 10,000. Oh, I want 10,000 more. Oh, no, I want 10,000 more. We're going to take your kid to a different state and we'll call you in a couple days. And I've already paid you. I don't care. And you'll keep paying me. And then what do you do?
Ooh, this is giving me chills. God forbid this never happens.
No, I have a kid too, and a lot of the kid stuff, child stuff. I work from child sex trafficking to cases I've worked. Before you have a kid and after you have a kid, it's a big difference. It's a big difference. Yeah. It is. As an FBI, it's a big difference.
Okay, great. Yeah, Thank you. This has been great.
Oh, it was good. It's what you wanted.
I'm going to show this to the camera just in case. You just wrote this book. Go buy this book and read it. If you could sign it for me, that would be great.
I will, for sure.
John, everyone.
Thank you.
Okay, sweet.
Okay.